Good morning, children. I am your English teacher Anushka Channa. In the last class, we have studied about a very lovely poem by Robert Frost. In today's recitation class, we will study about another poem given in your books by Ken Nesbitt. It is a humorous poem. Let us begin. So, children, in today's English recitation class, we will be studying the second poem given in your books. The name of the poem is This Morning is Our History Test, and it is written by Ken Nesbitt. Let us start. First, let us read about the poet of this poem. The name of the poet of this poem is Ken Nesbitt. He is an American and was born in 1962. Ken Nesbitt writes humorous poems for children. Now you can see a picture of Ken Nesbitt. He is the poet of the poem that we are going to study today. He is an American and he was born in 1962, and he is famous for writing humorous poems. Humorous means funny poems for children. Now let's start the poem. This poem is divided into 3 sections. I will read each section and then explain it simultaneously. I want you all to listen very carefully and pay attention to the pronunciation of each word. This morning is our history test. Now basically this poem is about cheating at exams and tests. It is a funny poem that tells us about cheating at exams and tests. I am going to read the first section of this poem and then I will explain it. Listen very carefully. This morning is our history test. I have pinned my notes inside my vest. Inside my coat I wrote my notes, including dates and famous quotes. I have written more upon my hand that only I can understand, and in my socks and sleeves I stored my scribbled notes in secret code. So in this section, the poet is saying that this morning he has a history test and he has attached notes inside his vest. Vest means, vest is a garment that is worn on the upper part of the body. So he's saying that he has a history test and he has attached all his notes inside his vest. Then he further says that inside the coat that he is wearing, he has written the notes of all that was expected to come in the history test, which includes dates of all the wars and battles throughout the history and famous quotes and sayings of the rulers. The poet also says that he has written more upon his hand, and it is written in such a manner that only he can understand and nobody else. The poet has also hidden secretly some of the notes in his socks and sleeves, and it is hidden in a very careful manner so that he does not get caught by the teacher. Now I am going to read the second section of the poem. Please listen very carefully. I have written down so many names of winners of Olympic Games, of buildings, people, places too, from Tennessee to Timbuktu. I even copied down a piece on ancient Rome and ancient Greece, plus everything from Shakespeare plays to who invented mayonnaise. In this section, the poet is telling about all the things that he has written in the secret notes and chits that he has made. The poet is saying that he has written down all the names of the winners of Olympic game in the secret notes. He further says that he has also written all the names of buildings, people and places from Tennessee to Timbuktu. Now Tennessee to Timbuktu means he has written all the names of building, people and places that are there from the country of United States of America to the country of Africa. Then the poet says that he has also taken a piece of note from the book on ancient Rome and Greece. Ancient means he has taken down a note from the book about the old history of Rome and Greece. He has written in his notes everything about Shakespeare's plays. Now, who is Shakespeare? You all know Shakespeare is an English poet and he is very famous for his plays and playwrights. So the poet says that in his secret notes he has also written everything about Shakespeare's plays, and he has also written about who invented mayonnaise. Now in mayonnaise, you all know mayonnaise is a creamy sauce that you all put in your sandwiches and burgers. So in those secret notes he has written so much. He has written about the winners of Olympic Games. He has written about the names of the buildings, people and places that are there from the country of United States of America to the country of Africa. Then he has also written in his secret chits and notes about the old history of Rome and Greece. Plus he has written about everything about Shakespeare's plays and in fact about who invented the mayonnaise. Now I will be reading the last section of this poem. Listen very carefully. I came to school so well prepared, I wasn't nervous and wasn't scared. But here it is, the history test. I look inside my coat and vest to get the dates and famous quotes and find I cannot read my notes. So much for Shakespeare, Greece and Rome. I left my glasses back at home. So in this section, the poet says that he has come to school well prepared, not prepared by learning, but by arranging all the secret notes and chits for cheating. He wasn't even nervous or scared. Now, why was he not nervous or scared? Because he wrote all about the history in his secret notes and he was well prepared to cheat in the exams. But now, as the history test begins and he is ready to cheat down from his notes, he realizes that he is not able to read his notes because he was so busy preparing cheating materials at home for the test that he forgot to bring his glasses. He forgot to bring his spectacles to school. He left them at home. Now we feel sorry for him, but at the same time we feel very funny because he put in so much efforts in preparing the cheating materials that he forgot his own glasses at home. And now without glasses he is not even able to read the cheating materials that he has prepared. And children, there is also a very good thing that we learn from this poem. What do we learn from this poem? We learn that cheating never helps anyone. Cheating is wrong, it is bad, and cheating never helps anyone to succeed in life. So whenever we give our test, we should come well prepared by learning the lessons, and we should give our exams with full honesty without cheating. Now let us recite the whole poem again. Look at the poem given in your book on page number 31 and repeat after me. This morning is our history test by Ken Nesbitt. This morning is our history test. I have pinned my notes inside my vest. Inside my coat I wrote my notes, including dates and famous quotes. I have written more upon my hand that only I can understand, and in my socks and sleeves I stored my scribbled notes in secret code. I have written down so many names of winners of Olympic Games, of buildings, people, places too, from Tennessee to Timbuktu. I even copied down a piece on ancient Rome and ancient Greece, plus everything from Shakespeare's plays to who invented mayonnaise. I came to school so well prepared, I wasn't nervous, wasn't scared, but here it is, the history test. I look inside my coat and vest to get the dates and famous quotes, and find I cannot read my notes. So much for Shakespeare, Greece and Rome. I left my glasses back at home. So children, I hope this poem is clear to you. Now let us talk about the rhyme in this poetry. Now first let us understand what a rhyme. Rhyme can be defined as the repetition of similar sounds at the end of a word. For example, red and bed. So when we say both these words, similar sounds are repeated at the end. So these are known as rhyming words. Now some of the rhyming words in this poem are test and west, notes and quotes, stored and code, names and games, hand and understand, peace and grease, plays and mayonnaise, prepared and scared, Rome and home, to and Timbuktu. So if you listen carefully, whenever I pronounce these words, same sounds appear, same sounds can be heard at the end of each word. So these are some of the words from the poem that rhyme with each other. I hope you enjoyed this poem. The PDF exercises of this poem will be provided to you soon. Your homework is to learn the poem. So children, see you in the next class. Stay home and stay safe.